Hello, I'm Nitasha Buldeo and welcome to this webinar. Today we are discussing self-awareness. Now, research studies show that people who are self-aware are more fulfilled, they have stronger relationships, they are more creative and confident, and they are effective communicators. People who are self-aware are also less likely to cheat, lie, manipulate, steal, or violate. Self-aware people perform better in their careers, they are more effective leaders, and they run more profitable companies. But what is self-awareness? Self-awareness is the ability to see ourselves clearly. It's the ability to understand who we are, how others see us, and how we fit into the world. Now, self-awareness gives us personal power as well as comfort at the same time. Being able to express yourself fully is powerful. And there is much comfort in knowing who you are and being okay with it. However, in the world of self-awareness, there are two types of people. Those who think they are self-aware and those who are self-aware. Dr. Tasha Buldeo, an organizational psychologist and best-selling author of the book Insight, and her team have studied self-awareness. And they found that of the 95% of people who think that they are self-aware, only 10 to 15% actually are. Now, to quote Tasha Buldeo, this means that 80% of us are lying to ourselves 80% of the time. But why does this happen? You see, many of us want to be self-aware, and we spend time introspecting, reflecting, thinking about why we do the things we do. But research shows that often introspection is not helpful because thinking about ourselves is not the same as knowing ourselves. And in truth, many of us are under the introspection illusion. This is a bias in which we wrongly think that we have direct insight into our thoughts and choices, when the truth is we are strangers to ourselves. You see, much of what underlies our choices and behaviors happens unconsciously. So when we try to introspect, what we end up doing is confabulating. That is, we make up stories to logically explain our unconscious choices. Now, two researchers, Nisbet and Wilson, conducted many studies repeating this effect in different scenarios. And Wilson wrote a book, Strangers to Ourselves, which has influenced my research greatly. One of Nisbet and Wilson's studies was conducted in a department store. Now, from previous experiments, it was discovered that people tend to prefer products that are to the right of their visual field. So, Nisbet and Wilson laid out 4 pairs of the same type of pantyhose. And they asked customers to rate their favorite product. And as with previous experiments, most customers preferred the pantyhose on the right. But when asked why they chose that particular pantyhose, customers gave a variety of reasons regarding quality of product. Hence, they justified an unconscious bias. In a second experiment, participants were asked to memorize certain words like ocean or moon. They were then asked to choose their favorite detergent from a list of 4. Now, those who memorized the words ocean or moon would more often choose Tide as their favorite detergent, as compared to a control group who did not memorize these words. When asked why they chose Tide, participants gave totally unrelated responses, such as, I love the color of the Tide box, or my mother uses Tide. Now, even when the experiment was explained to the participants, only a third were open to the idea that the memorized word may have affected their choice. The majority continued to insist that Tide was in fact their favorite detergent. Now, these studies show us that cognitive biases, value judgments, and environmental stimuli all affect our behavior and choices without us knowing it. So asking ourselves why we did something often results in us confabulating or making up stories in the same way that little kids and the above research participants did. But this does not mean that there's no room for introspection. We just need to change the questions that we ask ourselves. Why questions lead to personal lies. But when we ask ourselves questions that begin with what, then we can begin to correct our behaviors and learn from past experience. Asking yourself, why did I fail at that task, gets you lying to yourself. But asking, what can I do differently the next time, helps you improve. So instead of asking, why is my life so terrible? You need to ask, what are the situations that make me feel terrible? And what do they have in common? So according to Tasha Uris and her research team, one way to benefit from interoception is to ask what instead of why. However, while asking what questions can help you learn from the past and improve your actions in the future, these questions still don't help you develop self-awareness. You see, from early childhood, most of us are schooled to fit into social norms. The programming of our self-image begins in childhood. As children, we learn what is acceptable in our society and what is not. We start to create value judgments. These qualities are better than those qualities. These are the symbols of success, and those are behaviors that people will ridicule. And from childhood, we learn to push our natural skills, behaviors, and abilities that are socially undervalued into the background, into the shadows. We learn to repress our natural, authentic selves in order to present an acceptable persona. We become so busy trying to be someone that we forget to be ourselves. Being self-aware is about letting go of all of these repressions and acknowledging all of you. Being self-aware is about being who you really are. Without self-awareness, you can be successful, but you won't feel content. You can be productive, but you won't feel purposeful. You will experience moments of pleasure, but you won't feel inspired. So how can we develop self-awareness? To be self-aware, we need to move beyond the mind and into the body. We need to move from thinking to feeling. In order to develop self-awareness, we need to develop our body awareness. And body awareness is not just about looking at yourself in a mirror or perceiving your body from the outside in. It is about developing inner body awareness. It's about learning how to experience your body sensations from within. Inner body awareness is called interoception and is often referred to as the eighth sense. Now, throughout the day, our bodies are exposed to stimuli, and these stimuli cause neural pathways to become activated and have direct impact on our behavior. By developing interoceptive awareness, we are better able to feel the effects of these stimuli on our bodies and respond to them more appropriately. An example would be, while having a conversation with a colleague, you suddenly feel a physical discomfort. Now, this comfort could be perceived as annoyance with said colleague. However, with introceptive awareness, you may become aware that the physical discomfort that you felt was actually an abdominal spasm that arose from the aroma of food wafting in from the canteen, reminding you that it was time for lunch. This awareness may prevent you from having a misguided argument. But more importantly, developing introceptive awareness allows you to understand what's really important to you, not just what you think is important. It enables you to know what your body responds to. We said earlier, thinking about ourselves is not the same as knowing ourselves. Introception is a way of knowing yourself. It enables a deeper, more meaningful way of living. Now, before I share tips on how to develop introceptive awareness, I would like to share my story and how I got to this point. I have practiced yoga since childhood. And as you develop your practice in the classical Indian yoga tradition, you come to experience pratyahar. Now, according to the Patanjali Yoga Sutras, one of the best known texts on yoga, pratyahar is the fifth stage of yoga. It is often translated as shutting your senses. But what pratyahar actually refers to is turning your perception inwards. It's the same as introception. Now, alongside my yoga practice, my obsession since childhood was trying to understand how the human body really worked. I was not happy to just accept what biology and medical textbooks said about the body, which to me was very mechanistic. So along with the mainstream scientific understanding of the human body, I also studied various other fields, some outside the realm of science, to gain a more holistic understanding of the body that was not limited to any belief. Because any scientific paradigm is limited by the parameters that it sets for itself. My studies on the human body looked at immunity, skin function, perception, and consciousness. And the one thing that I became very aware of is that if we gave our bodies what it needs, our bodies have this incredible ability to heal itself. But how do you know what your body needs? And this is how I got into researching introception. Research shows that by improving introceptive ability, we are better able to regulate our moods. We are less likely to be body dysmorphic or to struggle with eating disorders. So my research has looked at ways to improve introceptive awareness. I studied various neurofeedback techniques, subliminal priming methods, and body awareness practices. But my big breakthrough came in 2012 when my two worlds seemed to collide. I began to understand how yoga could be used to improve introceptive awareness. In fact, more than that, I came to believe that for the last millennia, the real aim of yoga was to develop complete inner and outer awareness. Introceptive awareness and the fifth limb of yoga, pratyahar, are exactly the same. So coming back to how to develop introceptive awareness, yoga and some body awareness and meditation practices can help develop introceptive awareness. For those who want to quickly and fully develop mind, body, and introceptive awareness, I have created an online 12-week program of yoga classes. To access these classes, please go to the following iyoga.org website and sign up for the performance program. For those who want a simple beginner's practice, then all you need to do is sit comfortably in a chair or lay down on a flat surface. And all you need to do is pay attention to your heartbeat. Don't take your pulse. All you do is inhale and exhale as you pay attention to your heartbeat. Over time, this practice teaches you to focus inwards and to become more body aware. Now, for those of you who have completed the iYoga Performance Program, I recommend joining our 7-week Chakra Awareness Program. Details are also on the iYoga website and the various iYoga social media pages. Understanding chakras as they were traditionally presented helps train you to focus on specific areas of the body to improve your inner awareness and well-being. Now, all the above helps improve introceptive awareness, and this helps you to achieve self-awareness, knowing your body and listening to your body in every moment enables you to be self-aware. And with self-awareness, you can live authentically, creatively, and confidently. Now, to take this further, in our next webinar, we will discuss confidence, what it really is, and how it is misconstrued. So, thank you for joining me. If you enjoyed this webinar, then please click the button. If you would like to receive access to past and future webinars, then please do subscribe to this channel. Till our next webinar, goodbye.